Who here is a level 2, 5 million to 15 million? You are? What's your name? Richard, can you stand up, please? So, Richard, where do you do business? Atlanta. I love Atlanta. What part of Atlanta? Yeah, you want to be the Buckhead agent, right? Yeah, I know, Mr. Luxury Buckhead. I know. So let me ask you said you're doing between 5 and 15, right? How many units is that? Good for you. Give him a round of applause. That's really good. So this year, volume-wise, what does that equate to? 12 million? 9.8, so 10 million. That's our goal, right? Got to have goals. Yearly goals, and then reset on quarterly. That's 100% what you got to do. Okay. For you, what's your biggest struggle right now? You hear that? His biggest struggle is the roller coaster of the churn and burn. You have a couple good months, and then you have a down month. You have a good month, a couple down months. It's the roller coaster, right? That's every level 2's biggest problem. Is because they don't have a system in place to stay consistent, and they're afraid to take on support and help because they don't want the overhead to help you become more consistent. Is that fair? If you had 1 or 2 people supporting your role, could you become more consistent within your career? For sure. If you had a process to where, I always said, tomorrow, if you got hit with 20 listings, could you manage that? No. What if tomorrow you got hit with 5 buyers that are ready to go? Would that be hard for you to do? Kinda, right? Maybe not. Listings for sure would be tough, right? Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. So, level 2, it's always like this. And when you're going like this, it's because of one reason. It's because you always find yourself in the weeds. You got to show up to do inspections. You got to show up to closings. You got to deal with the issues during the transaction. By being in the weeds, what you're doing is you're not allowing yourself to actually focus on the most important thing, and that's selling. The problem that we have is that we find ourselves scared to take a leap of faith and bet against yourself. I always said, if I'm going to bet on one thing in my life, I'm going to bet on me because I can control me. And if I'm going to bet on me that you're going to do 10 million a year and then next year you're going to do 15, next year you're going to be 20, that's what you want to do, right? Hell, next year you want to do 20 and then you want to do 30, right? So you're going to bet on yourself that you're going to do it, right? You can't do it if you don't have the trust that you're going to take on a little bit of overhead to help you get out of that rut. Because the person that we're taking on when it comes to overhead is somebody that is to assist us to make sure that we do what we do best, and that's sell houses. If you're a lender, closing deals. More 1003s, closing deals. I don't want to gather your W-2s. I don't want to gather your pay stubs. I don't want to go to your home inspection. I don't want to go to your closing. I don't want to get caught up in the transaction. But we do it because we're afraid. I was afraid. My first hire, I was scared. I was making about 150 grand in the end of 2010, 11. It wasn't a ton of money. But what I realized was I was starting to turn some units. And I said, I don't want to go to the office anymore and work on this paperwork. I don't want to open escrow. I don't want to show up at inspections. So I'm going to take a leap of faith and bet on myself and hire somebody. And the minute I did that, what I created was leverage. And human leverage, I get asked all the time, if you had $3,000 a month, what leads would you buy? And my first response is, do you have help? Do you have an assistant? And they'll say, no, but I need to buy more leads. Human support is more valuable than any lead spend that you'll ever have. Because that human element of what you're doing, if you give them a process behind what they're doing, they can generate more leads for you and pass those to you as part of their protocols on a weekly basis. When I get a deal in, new escrow, I want you to open escrow, I want you to send it to the inspector, I want you to send the deal to the lender, and I want you to put all this to where it's all buttoned up to where the next thing we only have to worry about is the inspection. Now, once you do that, on Mondays and Tuesdays, I want you prospecting. On Thursdays, I want you calling every past client that I have, thanking them for being a part of what we're doing, and seeing if they have a friend or family that they can refer us to. The human element can do so much in our business, but yet we're afraid to take the leap of faith to put that in play. And that's a big problem, because if you're not willing to bet on yourself, then I don't know who you're willing to bet on. But these ups and downs will continue if you don't put into motion the ability for you to get out of the weeds.